Okay, so if you've been anywhere near crypto Twitter or crypto X, whatever we're calling it these days, you've probably seen this name floating around. DogPay. And no, before you ask, it's not a meme coin thing, it's actually a payments platform. And today I want to break down exactly what it does, who it's for, and honestly, whether it's worth your time. So let's start with the basic pitch. DogPay is basically trying to be this one platform where you can spend, receive, convert, and manage your money, but across both crypto and regular fiat currency. So instead of having your crypto wallet over here and your bank account over there and some janky exchange in the middle trying to connect the two, DogPay wants to be the bridge, all in one place. And look, that's not a new idea. A lot of companies have tried this, but the way DogPay structures it is actually kind of interesting, so let's get into the products. First up, there's the DogPay card. This is probably the thing most people will actually interact with day to day. It's a virtual and physical card that lets you spend your crypto pretty much anywhere, like anywhere that takes a regular card. So the idea is you've got crypto sitting in your account, and instead of converting it manually every time you want to buy something, the card handles that conversion for you on the spot. Which I have to say is genuinely useful if you're someone who holds crypto but still needs to, buy groceries and pay rent and live in the real world. Then there's what they call personal banking. This one's aimed at international transfers. So if you're sending money across borders, maybe you're paying a freelancer overseas or sending money home to family, this is built for that. And honestly, cross-border transfers have historically been kind of a pain. Slow, expensive, lots of hidden fees. So a platform that's built specifically to make that smoother that's a real use case. There's also personal collection, which lets individuals receive crypto payments. So if you're a freelancer or you sell something or you just need people to pay you in crypto, this gives you a way to actually collect that. Now here's where it gets interesting for the business side. DogPay's got global bank accounts, which are multi-currency accounts, so businesses operating internationally can hold and move money in different currencies without that whole convert everything back to one currency headache. And then there's banking as a service, which lets other companies open virtual bank accounts for their own users through a single API. So this is more of a behind-the-scenes infrastructure play. DogPay isn't the front-facing brand here, they're the engine running underneath someone else's product. Same kind of idea with their crypto payment gateway, that's for businesses that want to accept crypto payments globally, with DogPay handling the acquiring side. And then card as a service and payment as a service, which are basically API-driven infrastructure, so other companies can plug in card issuing or payment processing without building it themselves from scratch. So when you zoom out, and this is the thing that actually stood out to me, DogPay isn't just a consumer app. It's trying to be infrastructure, like the plumbing that other fintech and Web3 companies build on top of, which is a pretty ambitious position to take. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking right now. Crypto, payments, cards, this smells like a scam waiting to happen, and honestly, fair. That's the right instinct to have with anything crypto adjacent. So let's actually talk about the compliance side, because this is where I think DogPay tries to separate itself. They list registration as a money services business with FinCEN. They mention a Visa third-party agent registration. They've got a trust or company service provider license out of Hong Kong, and they hold PCI DSS Level 1 certification, which, if you don't know what that means, it's basically the highest tier of security certification for handling card data. It's the same standard the big payment processors are held to. So that's not nothing. On top of that, they say their security framework gets independently audited by a third party called AtSec, specifically to check it against international security and privacy standards. So, okay, I have to be honest with you. On paper, this looks like a company that's at least trying to play by the rules instead of just operating in some gray area and hoping nobody asks questions. Now, here's something I think is actually important to point out, and a lot of reviews probably won't mention this. If you dig into their terms, the actual regulated entity behind DogPay is called Stratus Pay FinTech Limited. It's registered in Canada and regulated by FINTRAC. That's Canada's financial crimes and money laundering watchdog. So DogPay as a brand sits on top of that regulated entity, which, is pretty common in fintech. Lots of consumer-facing brands are actually licensed through a separate regulated back-end company. But it's worth knowing who's actually responsible for your money if something goes wrong. And they're upfront that payment products are offered through partnerships with licensed institutions and that cards are issued by partners who hold the proper licenses in their own countries. So DogPay itself isn't necessarily the one issuing your card. They're coordinating with licensed partners to make that happen. Again, not unusual in this industry, just good to actually know. Now let's talk about who's actually using this thing, because that tells you a lot. They mention working with Immersive Translate, which they describe as the first AI subscription service to use DogPay's payment gateway. They also mention AI SaaS platforms using their card as a service for issuing cards, and fintech partners using the global bank account for cross-border settlements. And honestly, that use case, AI subscription payments, is actually pretty smart timing. Think about it. A ton of AI tools, AI subscriptions are popping up out of countries where getting a normal international payment card is a nightmare. So a service that lets people pay for, say, their ChatGPT subscription or Midjourney using crypto converted on the fly, that's solving a real specific current problem. They also list a handful of use cases on where they actually operate: AI subscription payments, cross-border e-commerce checkout, Web3 and SaaS app integration through their API, personal finance with that global account and card combo, and multi-currency settlement for businesses. So it's a pretty wide net, but the common thread is clearly crypto in, fiat out, smoothly anywhere in the world. And speaking of anywhere in the world, they say they're headquartered in Hong Kong with tech hubs in Singapore and Canada, service coverage across more than 140 countries and regions, and settlement through SWIFT, ACH, SEPA, and FPS. So that's genuinely global rail coverage, at least on paper. So, okay, let's actually land the plane here. What's my honest take? I think DogPay is solving a real problem. The crypto to fiat gap is annoying, and a lot of people, especially freelancers, remote workers, people getting paid internationally, or people just trying to spend crypto in daily life, genuinely need something like this. The compliance stuff, the PCI certification, the third-party audits, that's a good sign. It tells me this isn't some fly-by-night operation. But, and this is a real but, anytime you're dealing with crypto and cards and cross-border money movement, you do your own homework. Read the actual terms. Understand which entity is regulating your money. Know that the card might be issued by a partner, not DogPay directly. That's not a red flag necessarily, it's just how this stuff works. But you should know it going in. So if you're someone who's already deep in crypto and you're tired of manually converting everything every time you want to spend it, this is worth a look. If you're running an AI SaaS product and you want to let international users pay easily, their API side is worth checking out too. Either way, do your research, read the fine print, and don't put more into any platform than you're comfortable potentially losing. That's just good advice for anything in this space. If this kind of breakdown was useful, let me know in the comments, and I'll keep digging into more of these crypto fintech platforms as they pop up.